How's it going, everybody? It's Darth Cuddles here, and today we are continuing on with our Jacksonville Jaguars rebuild series. We have finished the preseason, and we are now officially into year number 1. So today we are going to be going over weeks 1 through 4. That's how I'm going to do this format, is 4 weeks. But yeah, just taking a quick look here. That's not the depth chart where I wanted to go. We are going to take a quick look at the depth chart here. So again, Trevor Lawrence is going to be our starting quarterback. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. We do have Gardner Minshew in case something does happen, but knock on wood that nothing happens. We have our 3 running backs. Hopefully James Robinson can get us some good yards. We don't really have, again, we want to work on our wide receiver room just because we do have a couple of decent young guys, but nothing too stellar. Tight end room, again, this is an area that I do want to improve on. Offensive line, obviously, we're pretty decent there. Josh Allen, monster. Roman Okawari. Our defense really needs to be improved. Our defense did kind of improve over the offseason, not as much as I would like. Davon Hamilton, our D-tackle room definitely needs to improve. Mikel Pearson, our linebacking room, that's where this team improved the most, obviously. Mikel Pearson, and then we also have Dylan Moses. I have moved Dylan Moses to the starter just because I think over time he is going to be better. Obviously, the awareness rating is a little lower than Joe Sherbert, but I think, again, just over time, he's just going to be the better player, and obviously, he does have that hidden dev trait, so, and what we saw over preseason, it looked like he's going to be good enough to take over the starting role. Obviously, Miles Jack, he's a great player. And then, our secondary, we have nothing super stellar. I am going to move C.J. Henderson to the number 1 corner because he should be the number 1 corner. I don't know what's happening there. It is kind of annoying that our safety room isn't the best. We do have Chad Stearns, he does have a hidden dev trait, so we're going to have to see how he develops. But yeah, so we are going to move into week 1 against the San Francisco 49ers. Since this is a year past from what we normally start with, we are going to take a look at the team. I think I went the wrong way. Here we go. Let's take a look at the quarterback situation. Jimmy Garoppolo, so we do have the advantage there in the quarterback. They have the advantage in the running back, definitely for fullback, definitely their wide receiver room. Their second best wide receiver is kind of one of our number 1s, but they have a much, their wide receiver room looks very similar. They do have a couple of better guys. Tight end room, George Kittle, this is going to be a huge problem for our team. It's going to be a really good test for Dylan Moses, the young rookie. Obviously, their left tackle is not as good. He's not even a 70 overall, so we're hoping our edge rushers can get some work. Their entire offensive line just kind of looks a little shaky. 79's all right, 79, 75. Then obviously Mike McGlinchey with an 83. Yeah, their defensive line is going to be an absolute problem. Just Eric Armstead and then D Ford. Then you have Nick Bosa and Javon Kinglaw. Obviously, Drake Greenlaw, Fred Warner is going to be a problem for us as well. Their right outside linebacker isn't going to be as big of an issue, but yeah, and then their secondary does kind of, it's solid, but they really only have 2 guys, so if we start to bully, say for instance, their slot guy, that could be good, but their safeties kind of make up for it a little bit. So yeah, again, this is still a fairly young team. Again, I don't expect us to win a ton of games. But yeah, let's take a look at what Josh Allen has. Obviously, he has Yeah, so he has Fearmonger, and then some of his superstar abilities, BOGO. Defenders with this ability are granted a free pass rush move once per play after spending a pass rush point. Defensive rally defenders with this ability get a bonus pass rush point to all defensive linemen on third or fourth down. So that is a pretty solid ability. But yeah, we are going to head into the game. Alright, so here we are in the game. So we're just watching San Francisco. They get the first drive of the game. They're slowly moving the ball down the field. Honestly, I do kind of expect this. They do have a good run game, but they also have a solid pass game. And this defense is young. Well, they're younger, and this is going to be a good first test. And either we got an interception there, it was a fumble. I'm not entirely sure what happened, but we got the ball. Unfortunately, Trevor Lawrence went 3-0 on passes, and we had to punt the ball on. He had a 3-and-out, on his first ever professional, meaningful football drive. So our defense did manage to get a stop. I don't know if it was a interception or if it was a fumble recovery, but we managed to get a stop, and they might have just simply missed a field goal. But we did get the stop. Let's see if we can indeed stop them here again, or at least hold them to 3 points. They do indeed score. Rashawn Higgins gets a touchdown. Let's see how our offense responds. John Ross brings it back out to the 22. Alright, so there's Trevor Lawrence's first ever career completion. Let's see what we can do. Unfortunately, we do get the first down, but we don't go any further than that. San Francisco's defense is going to be a really, really tough team for our offense to go up against, mainly because we do have Trevor Lawrence, who is going to be a really, really good quarterback for us, and we're hoping James Robinson can be a really good quarterback for us. But, there's still a lot to go, and obviously we have Laviska Shenault, who's going to be a decent wide receiver for us. But luckily, we do get the San Francisco offense off the field. They only kick a field goal, so we stop them to 3 points. And, hopefully we can get a drive going, and hopefully we can at least get into points range. So it looks like right now we are doing a bit of a better drive. 3rd and 4, let's get it going, and unfortunately we do have to kick or punt it. Like I said, this San Francisco defense is going to be tough. Obviously, this is Trevor Lawrence's first ever career start, so it is going to be a good, tough challenge for us. But we do get the ball back with pretty decent field position, starting from the 37, and hopefully we can get it past our own 50-yard mark. And it does not look like it's going to be that way, so we indeed have to punt it. The Niners are starting from their own 20. Our offense is not helping our defense out in any sort of fashion. Right now, from what we're seeing in this game, it just looks like we're not going to be able to get any sort of points. We do get them to a 4th and inches, so we do have a little bit of help from the chains there. Let's hopefully get a drive going right here. James Robinson right now is just doing a monster amount of work. There we go. 2 passes to Tyler Erfit for some decent yards. Laviska Shenault gets another receiving yard. Penalty by Javon Kinlaw helps us move the ball. This is the first time we have actually, in this season with Trevor Lawrence as our quarterback, been passed into enemy territory. Hopefully, it's good enough for us to actually get points. We're moving the ball. Hopefully, we can get into the end zone. We're so close, and it was intercepted, which is not something we want to see, especially late in the half. Oh, you just hate to see it. The 49ers are using their timeouts. They're probably going to try to kick a field goal right here. Oh, and Josh Allen is injured, but he also gets the sack, so we are going to have to monitor that and see how, what's going to happen there. That's infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. Alright, so we got a big 21-yard reception. That's good to see, but we immediately get a 2-yard loss. So 3rd and 12. We actually get 16 yards from a D.D. Westbrook catch, but then he immediately drops the next pass. Laviska Shenault gets a 14-yard reception, pass knocked away by Dre Greenlaw. So this is good. Let's not throw an interception in the red zone. Let's get some points here. We have 3 downs. We're pretty much close to the end zone. We're getting there. And we get Trevor Lawrence's first ever touchdown pass to DJ Shark. Which we are still surprisingly in this game. It's only, it's a 3-point game. At any point, we could take the lead. If our defense can actually continue to hold the 49ers offense, this is actually going to be really, really good for us. Pass knocked away by Sidney Jones. What I like to see, 3rd and 4, get a stop, and they get the reception. Hopefully we can stop them here, or at least hold them to 3 points, so that way we can stay within a 1-score game. But it does look like the 49ers, and we do get an interception by rookie Mikel Pearson. That is why we drafted him, because he is just incredible on the outside. Unfortunately, with that interception, we give our defense no help, and we go 3 and out. It's tough to see that. Hopefully we can get a stop. 4th and inches, maybe. Yep. And we get the ball back in the 23-yard line. Hopefully we can actually get another drive going and potentially take the lead or tie it here. Sack for D Ford, puts us back, and then another sack. Trevor Lawrence is just getting beat. We try to bring it back to 4th and 11. 2 sacks back-to-back plays. That's rough to see. Jimmy Garoppolo throws the pass away. Jimmy Garoppolo gets Carl Joseph, one of our free agent signings, bats it back, and they are just moving the ball back. We get some really, really nice field position. Not necessarily a great punt. This is, and Trevor Lawrence gets sacked by Nick Bosa. Gets a nice little drive going. Come on, keep going. And it's intercepted by Fred Warner. This is just honestly, I don't even think this is a battle of just really, really good defenses. I think this is just currently a battle of really bad offenses. Let's just see if, we just need to get something going here. We'll see at the end of the game kind of the stat lines for both quarterbacks. But yeah, hopefully we can get this drive going. It looks like we're doing pretty well here. That's the first incompletion of this drive. 3-yard rush by Trevor Lawrence. He's just running for his life right now. Let's see if we can punch this ball in there. Incomplete pass. 2nd and goal. 4-yard reception. Come on, 3rd and goal. And we get the touchdown for D.D. Westbrook. And we now take the lead. And we put kind of the shoulder of this game, our shoulders, on the defense at the moment to hopefully get a stop, because these guys are going to be passing the ball. So we're putting a lot of emphasis on our corners, a lot of emphasis on our safeties, and unfortunately our young linebacking core. And it looks like they're just going to punch it in there. So hopefully we can get a stop here. They're just going to, we can bend, don't break. And they ultimately get the rushing touchdown there. So we do have to rely on Trevor Lawrence to have a game-winning drive. We do start out at the 25, 26. Let's hopefully, Trevor Lawrence gets what I think is like his 4th sack of the game. I think this is gonna kind of be the killer right here. Hopefully we can just stop them to 3 points. Because if we can stop them to 3 points right here, that means we're going to kick a field goal. And at least then we can just hope. We can just hope that Trevor Lawrence can take this ball down the field in 50 seconds. We have no timeouts left, so it's not looking terribly realistic here. 4th, 21. Okay, so we stop the clock. 3rd and 6. He gets a big pig. Okay, you can't take a sack, and I think that is ultimately going to be the game. We tried as best we could. We kept it competitive. So I do like to see that we did keep it competitive, but ultimately we did not get victory. So looking at the stats, I just kind of want to look at the quarterbacks here. So Trevor Lawrence, he threw 51 times for 30 completions, 326 yards. Unfortunately, 58% completed. 2 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Overall, I will say he performed much, much better than the more experienced man in Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo wasn't able to get over, 200 passing yards. He didn't throw a touchdown. He did throw an interception. When it comes to rushing, we're just going to take a look at our team. We did not really get the rush game going. Trevor Lawrence, how many sacks did he take? I think it was like 4, might have been 5. But D.D. Westbrook, 90 yards. Tyler Erfurt, 66. DJ Chark, I'm pretty sure it's Chark. 108, 1 touchdown, and Westbrook for a touchdown. Laviscus Chenault, 45. James Robinson, 17. Blocking Cam, oh my god. Jawan Taylor gave up 4 sacks. Cam Robinson gave up 2 sacks. And Andrew Norwell gave up a sack. We knew this pass rush was going to be a big, big test for our team. But I didn't think 7 sacks was going to be kind of what was going to happen. So Miles Jack led the team in tackles this day, followed behind by C.J. Henderson, which this is really good to see him doing well. Tackles for loss. Doug Costin, one of our backup D tackles. Did we get a sack? Josh Allen did indeed get a sack. But Kel Pearson, on the day, he got, 2 solo tackles, an assist, 3 total tackles, an interception. I'm kind of intrigued to see where Dylan Moses was. He got 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. So overall, a pretty decent day for him. Extra points, Josh Lambo did what he needed to do. Unfortunately, we do not get the win this week, but we kept it close and we kept it competitive. That is exactly the thing that I want to see. So Dylan Moses actually gets a skill point upgrade. So we want him to be a field generator. Again, he does have that hidden. We might actually be able to see what his dev trait is, at the end of this episode. Tavon Bryant, this is a guy who just really hasn't developed for the Jags. He was drafted out of Florida a couple years ago, and he just really hasn't done much for the team. Answer the media question. Jonathan Coachman, many folks, including yourself, thought this team would perform better last season, but things did not come together. How do you avoid that again this season? From start to finish, the coaching has to be consistent. Leadership starts at the top, and that means the staff has to stay on point. The players in the locker room need to stay focused on our goal. This is a playoff team, and they need to show that every week. We are not a playoff team. We are a young team in a rebuilding stage at the moment. We start by forgetting last season. This is a different team, and this team knows we can't miss the playoffs again. This is a different team. There's going to be a lot more turnover, but we're a rebuilding team. We had the first overall pick in the offseason for a reason. We're a bad team. So from start to finish, the coaching has to be consistent, and the leadership does start at the top. So we have to stay on point. Yeah, so I agree with that. We aren't a playoff team at the moment, so we can't really be saying that. Okay, so taking a look at some of the upgrades, Caden Stearns, again, one of the safeties we drafted who does have a hidden dev trait. We have him up to a 70 overall. So, again, we're probably going to see where he falls probably week 10 with that trait. D.D. Westbrook gets an upgrade. He is now a 78. Oh, he's 27. Alright, looking at the 1-0 Miami Dolphins, let's take a look at their roster. So, looking at their quarterback, they have Tua Tagovailoa, one of the top picks from the draft class previous. He's a 78 overall. They have Kyle Allen as their backup running game. They actually have Travis Etienne, who I would honestly just start over Matt Breida, just get him rolling. Does he have a hidden dev trait? He does. Fullback, again, we're not really worried. Devontae Parker, he's their number one guy, and then they kind of have, just nothing really special after that. So I would say our wide receiver room is probably just a little bit better. Devontae Parker obviously is the better receiver, but I feel like we have more quality players. Tight ends, Mike Gesicki, yeah, he's definitely the better tight end. They got Penny Swell as their tackle. Looking at their offensive line, obviously their left tackle, Penny Swell, is their number one guy. Luckily for us, he's not the blindside blocker for Tua Tagovailoa. He's actually he's not really the more important offensive lineman on this unit. But hopefully our edge rushers with this weak offensive line that Miami has can actually start to get things going. But taking a look at their defensive line, Emmanuel Ogbah, he's pretty solid. Christian Wilkins, I like Christian Wilkins. They have Turkettis McKinley, so they might be able to do some stuff. Davon Goodchin, Raquan Davis, he should probably be starting. So they might be able to get some pressure, but it is without a doubt not going to be anywhere near the same amount of pressure that we saw from San Francisco. So I'm hoping our offensive line can have a rebound week after what we saw after giving up 7 sacks. Kyle Van Noy, their left outside linebacker. Jerome Baker, their young middle linebacker. And then Shaq Lawson, their other right outside linebacker. So, do they run? Yeah, right now it just looks like they are a 4-3. So I'm not terribly worried about their, necessarily their pass rush. We need to stay consistent against their pass rush. Their linebacking situation, hopefully James Robinson can have a good day. But this is where it's really going to be rough. Obviously, they have Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. And then they actually have Xavier Rhodes and Kayvon Williams. Their secondary is going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with. Bobby McClain and Eric Rowe aren't the best safeties. I would say they're kind of on par with our safeties. Bobby McClain a little bit better of a free safety than what we have, but overall, the corner situation is going to be really, really tough, and Trevor Lawrence could struggle a lot in this game. Alright, we are in the game here. It looks like Miami is getting the opening kickoff, so our defense is going to be going up against Tua Tagovailoa to start the game. They look to be starting out pretty hot. Tua's first pass of the game, it gets incomplete. He goes for another incompletion. Penalty on Miles Jack, so they move the ball 15 yards up. That is a drive saver from Miami. They were kind of fizzling and stalling out there, and it looks like we do indeed get the stop. It looks like Miami kicks the field goal, so hopefully Trevor Lawrence, in what appears to be rainy weather, can get something going here for the team. Start out hot. Hopefully we can get a game where we don't start on a 3-and-out. Andrew Norwell does not help us out here. So unfortunately, back-to-back weeks on our opening drive, we go 3-and-out. Punt the ball to Miami. They get really good starting field position. Hopefully we can get a quick 3-and-out here. It does not look like we can do that. So we're kind of in the mode of we need to bend, not break at the moment. 3rd and 4th, and they get a 9-yard reception to restart the sticks. Come on, boys. Come on. You can do it. 3rd and 4th, stop, bend, don't break, and they are in the red zone. I feel like this is going to be a scoring opportunity for the team. Myles Gaskin, 3rd and goal, bend, don't break, bend, don't break. And they end up scoring. That is a heartbreaker. So again, early on in the game, we go down 10-0. This is one of those games where it's kind of a coin flip between both teams because both teams are not best. I know in real life Miami is performing a lot better than what they should be, but in the game at least, it says we are actually the higher rated team. But I think we were probably against still the underdogs. Hopefully we can go kick a field goal right here. We do get it. It's Josh Lambo does his job, gets the 3 points for us. Alright, so Miami is going to start their next drive. Hopefully we can get them to a 3-and-out. Joe Sherbert gets a huge penalty, which, again, the penalties have two really poor penalties have really what hurt this team so far today on the defensive side, because we could have stopped them on both drives, but we got some really bad penalties to extend their drive. You don't like to see it. Luckily, our defense did hold strong after that, but again, our offense just can't really get things going at the moment. Hopefully, our defense can get them to fizzle out. Josh Gordon gets the 16-yard reception. We get a actual tackle for a loss, incompletion, so they are behind the sticks. 3rd and 12, they get a 20-yard reception to Myles Gaskin. So again, we need to get them behind the sticks and just hope that we can stop them on this 3rd and 9. And they get a 12-yard reception to Devontae Parker. So now we're in the mode of bend, don't break, bend, don't break. What are we? 1st and 10. This is just a situation you don't really like to see. Like, I like to see the defense be able to stay and hold Myles Gaskin, or Myles Gesicki. Mike Gesicki gets the touchdown to bring the Miami Dolphins 17-3. So right now, the offense is in a really big hole. They need to get something going. They are at 3rd and 10. Kyle Van Noy stops that drive cold, and we are just looking really poor at the moment. Mike Gesicki, he's just pounding, he's just making a ton of catches, showing why he is the better tight end in this game. They are just driving the ball down pretty much just with ease at the moment. It looks like they're going to score right now. Touchdown, Josh Gordon. They are now up by 21 points. We are down 3 scores. Right now, our offense has looked absolutely abysmal. We need to get something going. Tavon Godchek, I think that's the 2nd sack that Trevor Lawrence has taken today. And Trevor Lawrence has thrown an interception to Jerome Baker. Oh, hey, we get a sack. Moving into the 3rd quarter, we get the ball. Hopefully this quarter we can have a vastly better improvement on our offense. We need to seriously get some points on the board. We need to help out our defense when we're on offense. DJ Chark is injured on the play. Hopefully it is not too serious. Hopefully we can get him back. Jerome Baker gets the sack on Trevor Lawrence. And we again fizzle out here. We are just not doing anything to help our offense. Right now the Dolphins can basically do whatever they want because they have such a sizable lead. We luckily get them on a 3-and-out. They punt the ball. We need to get a big drive going here. This is a momentum drive. Hopefully, if we can sustain a drive and get a touchdown, maybe that can change the fortune for us. And Jawan Taylor gets a 10-yard penalty. Trevor Lawrence. So we are massively behind the sticks. We struggle with 10 yards. It's again, the defense right now is bailing out the offense. The offense just can't really seemingly do anything at the moment. Hopefully we can stop them on this drive. We do stop them here, so we do get the ball back. Again, I'm just praying and hoping that our offense can get some sort of momentum going. Yes, the corners that Miami have are really, really solid, but we are just not doing anything. They just seem to be punting the ball, and then we just keep going back. Kevin King, our third corner, is now injured, so we are just getting worse and worse on the defensive side of the ball. It is becoming harder and harder for this team to really do anything. Avon Bryant, for now the second week, gives us a pretty big penalty on the defensive side of the ball, helping out the other team. Hopefully we can get a stop here. It looks like they're in field goal range. Do they kick it? They do make a field goal, so this is going to have to be a monster comeback. Unfortunately, just from what I've seen in this game, I just really, really don't think, and it's intercepted. That is the second interception of the game. Just not really where it needs to be. Again, it looks like they're probably going to end up just... It is just bad. It's just... Honestly, at this point, we are just going to hit fast. It is just a complete and utter blow. We do get a touchdown, but I think the damage is already kind of done. Again, this silly glitch, so we're just going to exit the game here, and then we're going to take a look at the box score stats after. That was just a horrible game. That's a game we should have been a lot closer in my opinion. Maybe the Dolphins are... Alright, so I'm not entirely sure what happened when we were exiting the game. EA and their wonderful, wonderful game services, servers, everything, it cut out and we lost connection to the server. I don't really know why that happened, but it did. So it put us back at this point. We did indeed lose the game, so I'm just going to force the loss just because we did lose it. We watched it lose. You know, we don't get any do-overs, unfortunately. So we are just going to force the loss just because we did watch a loss. Moving forward, you know, it does give Tua it does give Trevor a bit better of stats, but we are just going to kind of move on from that at the moment. Alright, so Mikel Pearson, he now gets another upgrade. We are going to continue on, you know, just making him the best overall player. So he's going to be a 77 speed rusher. Cam Robinson, he is going to be a 77 now left tackle, so he's slowly getting better. Hopefully we can get him up to like an 80. Sorry, as I just kind of choked there on my own spit. Trevor Lawrence now is up to an 83 overall. You know, unfortunately, you know, the stats are going to be a little bit more skewered than what we initially saw from that game, but that is what we are going to do. Alright, so going into the scouting, what I'm going to do is actually import or download from a Madden share, and this kind of give you an idea. So we did the 2021. I've kind of taken a look at this guy's draft class prior to. It seems like he has a lot of dislikes for it, but I don't know with any of these other classes whether it's a full 7 full draft, not many traits, updated equipment. I kind of like what I see. We can take a look at it just to see what happens. I'm gonna take another quick look at it, and we'll get back to it. Alrighty, I found a draft class that I like. One thing I don't know why with this guy's draft class he didn't put any of the schools of where these guys are from. Obviously, it is not a heartbreaker, but this is kind of, I guess, it looks like a good enough draft class for us. So kind of looking at this team, obviously I am always going to take a look in the first couple of weeks, pretty much just the offensive line, because I need to see how good the offensive line is. I always look for upgrades. Cam Robinson is alright, but we are going to potentially look for some upgrades. This will probably be the last season I use imported, and then it'll just be created draft classes. Because I want a little bit of realism, for some of the players coming in. So now we go up against the Houston Texans after we take a look at some of the negotiations. This is going to give us an idea of all the players that we need to have for free agency. So right tackle, we can probably get rid of Will Richardson Jr., Logan Cock, our punter, Cook, Andrew Wingard, again, probably let go. Leon Jacobs, we can let go. Honestly, I'm going to try and see if I can trade Tavon Bryant away. I just don't know if we're going to get anything from him, but he's probably going to be let go. This is just one of those rookie free agents that I signed. AJ Can, hopefully we can find a better option at the right guard spot. He is going to be 30 going into next season, so he's not going to get any better. He's probably going to start regressing soon. So Kevin King, kind of looking at it here, Gerard Wilson, he was kind of just like a rental for this year. Kevin King, hopefully, he grows and develops. He is 26 years old, 78 overall, so hopefully he can develop. Cordell Patterson, again, is just kind of a backup running back. John Ross, again, he was just kind of brought in for that, just speed role. We'll see how he kind of performs. Trent Murphy was, again, just brought in as a backup. Tyler Elfert, he's gone. We don't need him. We are basically just saying at this point, it's like we are not going to be re-signing him. But DJ Chark, we do want to re-sign. If we can re-sign him sooner rather than later, I'm going to give him a $46.6 million deal over the next 4 years. He's an 83 overall, and over his career thus far, he hasn't necessarily been a major threat in the NFL. So this is honestly a pretty good deal. I feel this is a good deal for Chark. I like a better bonus. Salary and length are good. Bonus could be a little bit better. We can definitely do a little bit better of a bonus. So let's take a look at the 1-1 Houston Texans. They are one of our divisional opponents, so we are going to see this team a lot. Obviously, they have the great Deshaun Watson. They actually have Phillip Rivers as a backup. They kind of have just a, running back, by committee. They have just a bunch of guys in there. Fullback, again, not really worried. They have a lot better of a wide receiver room. Brandon Cooks, Will Fuller, these two guys are going to be hard to deal with. Tight end, they don't really have anything. Laramie Tunsil, that's going to be rough for a hard D line, but then pretty much everything else after that point they don't really have anything great, so we should be able to get a lot more pressure. But they do have J.J. Watt, and that's going to be a big, big test. They don't have anything really on the other side, so if we can stop J.J. Watt, that's going to be good. Again, they don't really have anything down the middle for the D-tackle spot. Linebacking, they have two guys, Zach Cunningham and then Bernard McKinley. Really, they're only middle linebackers, and then the corner situation, Bradley Roby. It kind of starts to fall off after that point. Free safety, Justin Reed. They got Justin Reed. Iceberg. So they are going to, I do think the Texans are going to beat us, unfortunately. They just, on paper, look like the better team. All right, we are in Jacksonville. We are getting ready to go. It does look like we are going to start off. So let's start off hot as opposed to what last week. Oh wait, no, the Texans got the ball first. Okay. I guess I was mistaken, but so hopefully our defense can do something. So looking at kind of the, mid-roll screen, kind of like the loading screen for the game, it showed that Trevor Lawrence did indeed throw 2 touchdown passes, and he only threw 1 interception as we get scored on here. But yeah, so he did have a little bit of stats, but nothing, game breaking. He didn't throw like 4 touchdowns and no interceptions, just to make it seem that crazy. And it looks like we are indeed going to go 3 and out on our opening drive for a 3rd straight week. Hopefully this is not something that we see as a common thread. But let's just hope that we can get a stop here. We do indeed get a stop, so they punt the ball. We are going to start out at 20-yard line. We are down 10-0 already. Oh, wait, did they kick? I guess they did kick a field goal. Trevor Lawrence takes another sack. Let's just punt the ball away. Well, let's just hope this team can start doing something offensively, because it just does not look like they can do any sort of anything on the offensive side of the ball. Defense, they're trying their best. Josh Allen gets a sack to halt the drive. Hopefully our offense can do something. We get a first down, so that's a good step. 4 yards on the first rushing play. That's a good way to start the drive. Another good way to start the drive is by getting 10 yards. Trevor Lawrence goes for a 7-yard rush, and then we throw an incomplete pass, meaning that we're going to have to punt the ball away. This is tough watching this offense, but this is the way that we are going to see throughout this year. Is this offense is going to be tough to watch. This team is going to be tough to watch just because they're not as good as they can possibly be. We do need to get ahead of the sticks. We do need to stay a little bit more competitive than what we saw in the Miami game. Hopefully we can actually get a quick score here. It does not look like it's going to be, so we are going to get 3 points. So Josh Lambo does his job. And hopefully our defense can actually get a stop here on this drive. 3rd and 3, stop here. Interception by Carl Joseph. This is huge. We need to capitalize on this. We need to score a touchdown on this drive. We can't afford another field goal, and we had great field position, and we just blew it. We could not do anything. Trevor Lawrence unfortunately takes a sack again. But it does look like our defense is trying to help us out. Not on that play. They've let 25 yards go by after knocking down 2 passes. 3rd and 3, stop him here, and then they go for a 29-yard pass play. I would be I would be less annoyed if we scored a touchdown on that last drive, because we would only be behind by a field goal. And, we are only down by essentially one score, but we throw an interception there and give the Texans amazing field position. Hopefully we can just halt them here. Bend don't break. They get Randall Cobb gets a touchdown. They go up 20-6. This is kind of, putting our offense on their heels. They need to get something going here. That's good, to get, 10 yards, but we need to score a touchdown on this play. Getting points is nice, but we need touchdowns. Field goals do not count, in my opinion, when, you're trying to get things going. Field goals are great. That's points on the board, but we need touchdowns. And of course, when I say we need touchdowns, we get yet again another field goal. But right now, I guess the field goals are keeping us in the game, realistically, at the moment. So we can't be too annoyed at that. But, the Texans just keep marching down the field, marching. It looks like, realistically, they are going to get field goal attempt right here. And so their field goal is going to neglect our field goal. So that's the big reason why we don't want to be kicking field goals. For us, is because if we kick a field goal, they can go down and kick a field goal, and it negates anything that we can do. Basically just takes the points right off the board. So we need to get touchdowns, because if they only can get a field goal and we can score a touchdown, that is great. And of course, the opening drive of the half, we go 3 and out. Again, this is starting to look like a little bit of a theme. Third and 1, get a stop. They do not get the stop. They allow 6 yards for Duke Johnson. They are just allowing the running to go here. And Miles Jack gets a 18-yard penalty. Oh, pass dropped, thank you. But then immediately picked up. They are just marching down the field. And this is the thing, is that they can afford to just do really what they want. They don't necessarily need to get this. The bend don't break. We get a sack here. 9-yard reception there at the 3rd-yard line. They score a rushing touchdown, and they do pick up an injury on the play. I need to see what they're going to do here. A sack right away. Again, this just looks like it's going to have to be a fast-forward type game. I'm gonna give it to, the 4th quarter, see what one more drive can do. I do not believe we're gonna win this game. I just think, obviously, our offense just hasn't produced enough. Tavon Bryant actually gets 2 sacks on this drive. That is actually pretty big. Let's see what our offense can do on this drive. If they just kind of fizzle out again, then again, okay, yeah, this is just going to be a fast forward. Get this through. We don't get a point. We don't get points on that drive. We do get a touchdown there. Unfortunately, we just can't take it home. We end up falling to the Texans 30-16. Looking at the day here, both quarterbacks ended up throwing an interception, but the big difference here is obviously Deshaun Watson threw those 2 passing touchdowns. Very similar in passing yards, but Trevor Lawrence threw 30 passes, 54 attempts, 55% complete. James Robinson actually had less yards on more attempts than Trevor Lawrence did. Laviska Shenault had a rushing touchdown. Just not good enough. DJ Chark, obviously 105 yards. He's performed fairly well for us. Sacks allowed. Andrew Norwell, AJ Kane, defense. Josh Allen led the way with total tackles, tied with Sidney Jones. Let's take a look at, I want to see Dylan Moses. Was he starting? Like, I'm confused why Schobert has more tackles. Was he getting more playing time? Let's look at sacks. Tavon Bryant got 2.5 sacks, so he had a monster day. We've been talking bad about him all year, how he's just done nothing for us. And he has a day like this. You know, Josh Allen gets a sack, Sidney Jones, Carl Joseph gets the interception. Yeah, he made all of his extra points, made all of his kicks. So Josh Lambo did exactly what he needed to do to get the job done for today. Alright, let's see if we have any upgrades here. DJ Chark is going to be moving up to an 84 overall receiver in our scheme fit, so this is really, really nice. Nice. Sidney Jones is moving up in the world. We're going to keep him as a slot. He is kind of our slot guy. Carl Joseph, after having what was seemingly a pretty solid day, we want some run support there. Nice. Overall, I'm fairly happy with that. But yeah, that's just not what we need. Another DJ Chark is in the final year of his contract and has turned down your contract offer to this point. So how far apart do you think both sides are right now? Well, I'd like to think we are not far apart, so we haven't found common ground yet. We'll continue to go negotiate and get there. Honestly, I'm not sure how far apart we are, but he's going to be a part of this team one way or the other. I honestly don't know. We have a price that we believe he is worth, but he's not budging, and we are not going to bid against ourselves. Honestly, we aren't far apart. He just wants a little bit of a better bonus, and that's something we can definitely give. We have cap space, you know. We have a quarterback on his first year of a rookie deal, so we don't have to worry about paying a quarterback for at least 5 years, which is huge. Chark's not even going to probably be on the team at that point. So yeah, we aren't far apart. But yeah, so we are 100% getting this deal done this week. There's no doubt about it. He just wants a little bit better of a contract. I get that. 420. We'll give you 425. If he doesn't accept this, then it's kind of going a little bit, which the bonus was as good. So he's kind of wanting a bigger bonus. So again, that is a little bit annoying that we couldn't get that deal done this week. We really should have been able to. Laviska Shenault Jr., he's now up to an 80. So this is really, really solid for us. So we have 280 overall wide receivers or above. Again, right now, this point, it's just looking at the offensive line, just seeing if we can get any sort of improvements anywhere. Wow, these guys aren't looking necessarily the best. Alright, so moving up against the 2-1 Chargers. Let's take a look at their team. Roster, obviously, their young, talented Justin Herbert. He's going to be pretty solid for them. Running game, Austin Eckler. And then, obviously, they have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. These two guys are going to be really, really tough to stop. Hopefully, our secondary can do anything. And then, obviously, Hunter Henry. Looking at their offensive line, they actually have a pretty solid offensive line, but this is going to be the big one. Joey Bosa, Mark Ingram third, or Melvin Ingram, and then Ukene Nwazi, Levine Joseph. This is going to be very, very similar to the San Francisco game. I think there's probably going to be a lot of sacks. Their linebacking situation, obviously Kenneth Murray is their top guy. Everything else after that is pretty weak. But then their secondary, Chris Harris Jr. and Casey Hayward Jr., Jimmy Smith. They have a good corner set. Obviously they have Derwin James from the safety position. Their free safety isn't necessarily the best, but this is tough to watch at the moment. Alright, here we go to start the game. We are starting the game off against the Chargers. Joey Bosa gets a penalty, so hopefully we can march down the field on this opening drive. We do not go 3 and out, which is awesome to see. Hopefully we can actually get points for the first time on our opening drive. This is something we have not been able to do. And it unfortunately looks like it's going to continue that way. But you know what? We did make strides. We did not go 4 weeks in a row on an opening drive where we went 3 and out against, honestly, a really solid defensive line. And we get the Chargers to go 3 and out. So maybe, just maybe, we can pull something off this game and get this team moving in the right direction. Alright, and we go right back to 3 and out type play. Penalty against the Chargers. Let's just hope that we can stop them here. And they get a Hunter Henry 11-yard reception. Austin Eckler, Justin Herbert goes for a run. It looks like these guys are going to... So it looks like the Chargers are actually kind of hurting themselves in the penalty game. They're moving backwards right now. They are behind the chains. I don't think they're going to try anything fancy. They're within field goal range. They do get the field goal, giving us the ball. I am okay with that drive. They ended up hurting themselves, which we do like to see other teams hurt themselves as opposed to us hurting ourselves. And let's just continue to hope that, the old saying is, good teams beat bad teams, and bad teams beat themselves. So hopefully the Chargers are just a bad team and they beat themselves today. For us, that is going to be crucial, but our offense does need to do a little bit more than this. That's not within field goal range. It is within field goal range, a 56-yard for Josh Lambo to get us tied up, assumingly going into the second. This is the first time going into the second quarter we are not losing the game. We're actually even on the scoreboard. So I'm really, really happy to see this. Hopefully we can get in there. I don't know if we got an interception there, but did Josh Lambo miss the field goal? He made a 56-yarder, but then misses, I think it was like a 40-yard. And they just get an absolute huge play on our defense. Not something that we need. We need to stop them here. We do. Good job, Z.J. Henderson, swatting the ball away. Hopefully, we can get another good drive in, and we can potentially take the lead. Yard rush by Trevor Lawrence. The first down. That's a good start to the play, or a good start to this set. James Robinson putting in a little bit of work. There we go. Get the ball moving. Chug it. Just keep that train going. Hopefully that's enough. Keep going, guys. Keep going. Feed James Robinson if you need to. Do what you guys need to do to get it done. Jawan Taylor hurts us with the penalty. We're now 2nd and 20. We're going to 3rd and 20. It looks like we are just going to have to settle for a field goal. He does make it this time. We should be up 9-3 at the moment. But, we can't be too annoyed at Josh Lambo at this point. That's the only field goal we have seen him miss. And he right now it has accumulated for probably most of the points on this team. So we can't be mad if he misses once in a while. Hopefully it's not a lot. I don't want to see much back. But we need to really, really make sure that we can get some touchdowns here. But for the first time in the history of this series, we are actually winning a meaningful game. And as soon as I say that, we throw an interception. Kevin King gets a penalty. So it's just continuing to hurt. We're just, again, bad teams beat themselves. And right now we are a bad team and we are beating ourselves. They are going to kick a field goal. They don't kick a field goal. Instead, they go for it. Was it third down or was it fourth down? I don't remember. Incomplete pass. They are going to kick a field goal. They do kick the field goal. They tie the game up. We are officially going to be tied going into halftime unless something crazy happens. I don't really see how we can do anything. Obviously, we get a sack on the final play of the game. The Chargers are going to start the ball with the ball in the second half. Hopefully we can get a stop. They had a bunch of momentum, going into halftime. Obviously, they tied the game up with a field goal. They came really, really close, but they also got that sack right at the end. But it does look like they're hurting themselves, and of course they get a 19-yard reception. Big, big play. Those are the types of plays that we need that we just can't get. They go 4th and 5. They punt the ball to us. We need a drive. Oh, Trevor Lawrence gets sacked yet again, so we're behind the sticks, 3rd and 19. Just throw the ball away, and we punt the ball. And we're just letting the Chargers get right back into this game with good field position. Again, we're in a situation where we need our defense to bend, not break. And Brian Bulaga gets a penalty to help us out a little bit. Hunter Henry says that doesn't matter. Josh Allen gets a sack to help us out. Justin Jackson doesn't do too much, so it looks like they are going to kick a field goal. They do make it. We should theoretically be tied. Right now, Josh Lambo did not make that crucial field goal in the second. So now we are behind the sticks, and we are behind in the score. We need to get a touchdown. I think, honestly, the team who gets a touchdown this game is going to be the team that ends up winning, because right now field goals are it's just a battle of field goals. We are in field goal range. We are in Josh Lambo's range, so hopefully we don't have to kick a field goal. We end up going for it on 4th down, and we get a touchdown from James Robinson pass, so we end up now taking the lead. And hopefully our defense can continue to press this Chargers offense, who is also young with their young quarterback, and we can just hopefully get them to beat themselves so we can take our first victory of the year. This is really, really good. Now, the big thing with our offense this next series is we need to not go 3 and out. We need to continue the pressure against the Chargers. We can't afford to go 3 and out, which is kind of looking like we were going to do, but James Robinson does what he needs to do. He's performing really, really well today. We need to get points on the board. Again, just put the pressure on the Chargers, hope for them to start making mistakes. Again, if we can score a touchdown on this drive, we are going to be putting a lot of pressure on the Chargers, and that's when teams start making a lot more mistakes, especially if they continue to make mistakes. And we get the first down, so that's exactly what we needed. We just need to keep going. If we get this touchdown, we're going to really put the Chargers in a big, big hole, and this is going to be really good for us. And James Robinson gets the touchdown. That is absolutely huge for us. This puts us up 20-9. Against the defense, I didn't think we'd be doing as well against. Again, the Chargers have some really, really good secondaries. Their linebacking situation isn't the best, but their D-line is pretty solid. Obviously, with Ingram and Bosa, and we get them to a 3 and not necessarily a 3 and out. They use the 4th play, and they're really trying here. We just need them to stop. We need to force them on this play. Stop them, Austin Eckler. So they're going to be fighting tooth and nail the entire time. Justin Herbert is not going to allow this team to. They're just not going to allow this team to lose. We have to play 4-down football. We can't be playing 3-down. If they do end up scoring on this drive, I need our offense to make sure that they can continue putting pressure on there. They do kick the field goal, so that puts them within a touchdown. So our offense really needs to make sure that they get the first down here. And we do need to make sure that the first down happens here, because that way it kind of forces the game a little bit better into our hands. Game is not over. We need to get this first down. We do get this first down, and I'm pretty sure we can happily call for a victory here today. A penalty against the defense, and we get our first victory of the season against the Los Angeles Chargers. It wasn't pretty, but we got it done. Oh, that feels good to see. You know, everyone on the Jags has to feel happy right now. Trevor Lawrence threw 47 passes for 25 completions. Both of these guys just threw a ton of passes. Trevor Lawrence just did a little bit better today. 283 yards, 53% completion. I really want to see that completion get up. He threw for a touchdown pass and an interception, but we also got an interception against Justin Herbert. Looking at the rushing attack, James Robinson finally has a pretty solid day. 19 rushes, 74 yards, a rushing touchdown, 2 broken tackles. But then he also made some pretty good help for us in the receiving game, 42 yards and another touchdown. So far, you know, Tyler Erfurt, 71 yards, DJ Chark, 98. So he's been actually really, really good for us throughout the passing game. I'm pretty sure he's stayed consistently around that 100-yard mark. Looking at the sacks allowed, AJ Cann and Cam Robinson both allowed sacks. Looking at the defensive side of the ball, we have Miles Jack with 8, then Josh Allen with 7 tackles for loss, Tavon Bryant, and then we had Josh Allen with 2.5 sacks, with Joe Sherbert getting a solid half sack there. CJ Henderson gets, I'm pretty sure, his first interception of the year. Mikael Pearson. And is Dylan Moses not starting right now? Did something change? Because I feel like he's just not doing anything since week 1. I need to go back in there and check. But Brandon Lindor, he is going to be a solid 87 overall center for us. That is absolutely huge. He's probably one of the top centers in the NFL right now. It is really, really great to see. Alright, so moving on, going into week 5, this is where we will stop this portion of it. But one thing that I do like to do, I do want to check the depth chart just to make sure, you know, we have it where we want it to be. Dylan Moses is starting. And who is our sub linebacker? Miles Jack. I do prefer Moses to be up there. That might be an issue of why he hasn't done exactly what I need from that spot. But yeah, okay. So, but yeah, we are going to take a look at the stats. We're going to do this every 4 weeks. So far, Trevor Lawrence has thrown for 1,195 yards in 4 games. He's thrown for 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 57% completion. He's been sacked a total of 13 times. Obviously, in that first game, he got sacked 7 times, so it's really, really tough. James Robinson in 4 games, 210 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. So, you know, honestly, I'm not upset with that. You know, if he keeps this kind of pace up, he's going to be around that 900 mark. So overall, he's doing fairly well in that regard. DJ Chark, he's doing really, really well. You know, surprised to say Tyler Erfurt is doing really, really well. D.J. Westbrook, Laviska Shenault, James Robinson. But yeah, going to the sack department, Jawan Taylor, Andrew Norwell, Cam Robinson, AJ Cann have all let in way too many sacks for this team thus far. Leading the team in tackles is Miles Jack. tackles for loss is Josh Allen, and then we look at the total sacks. Obviously, Josh Allen is above a sack per game at the moment, which is really, really great to see. Taven Bryan, he's in a contract year. He's trying to prove his job. Going into the interception department, Mikel Pearson, Carl Joseph, and C.J. Henderson all have interceptions. Looking at the kicking, Josh Lambo has missed one field goal, but he stayed perfect on the extra points. That one field goal, luckily it didn't hurt us, but it did make it a little bit sweaty right there. I'm not going to lie. So looking at the offense, I do want to see where our offense kind of ranks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are the 15th ranked offense in the NFL, which is actually really, really, really surprising. Are we the 5th ranked? 15th? How are we the 15th? Because I see a lot more yards. I don't know how they do the ranking system, but yeah, looking at the defense, let's take a look to see where our defense is. Jags, actually, we're pretty decently near the top, but yeah, right there, offense 15th in the NFL, and then 12th for the defense, so we're actually staying mid-tier. Just taking a look at some of the weekly awards from the NFC, Teddy Bridgewater, and then AFC, Josh Allen for the offense, and then defense, we have Coleman and Bell. Zach Wilson with the Giants actually won an Offensive Player of the Week award. What? Oh, that was this week. So the first 2 weeks of the season, Zach Wilson has actually been just lights out for the Giants, and he's just been tossing touchdowns. He threw 4, then he threw for 5. Wow. Okay. Giants are really, really liking the fact that they got Zach Wilson in that. But yeah, that is where we are going to end off today with this episode. Thanks for stopping by. See you in the next one.